only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, getting a brand new week started, November 18th, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Rick Delgado's here. He's got the news. Slick Rick will be here to do sports in a little bit. Welcome on in, everybody. Glad you're in. Real America's Voice, or if you're watching on all socials, YouTube, X, Facebook, wherever you're watching. Getter, of course, Rumble. Welcome on into a Monday night live from Studio 6B. Lots to talk about, lots to do. Glad you're a part of the show as always. Make sure you follow us on all our social media at LFS6B. Of course, head over to livefromstudio6b.com. Make sure you sign up as a member there. Rick Delgado, how are you?
I am good. I survived the weekend.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow, was it hard to survive?
It was. There's a few hours there I'll never get back, namely on Friday night.
Oh, well, you know, we went over to the Slick, Aaron, Harry on the highway, and myself went over to the America's First Warehouse.
Yes.
Where they were having a viewing party. We crashed it to watch the Tyson fight.
Was it really a fight?
Well, yeah.
Can you classify that as a fight, or was it here's $30 million, please don't kill me, old heavyweight champion?
I don't know. I don't think it was actually don't kill me. I actually think it was more like, hey, I idolized you growing up. I'm in a position where I can help you retire. I'll make 40, you make 20. We'll go 2 rounds. We'll go 8 rounds, 2 minutes. And you don't do any damage, I don't do any damage, and we all walk out rich.
That's basically it.
I think that was more of what happened.
But it wasn't a fight.
Well,
I wouldn't classify that. Let's just say the women's fight was way more interesting, entertaining, and loaded with fighting.
I mean, that's one of the better fights I've seen in a long time. I mean, those 2 girls stood in a phone booth the whole night. Anytime you can get 2 fighters who want to stand in a phone booth with each other and swing like that, it's just the best.
Yeah.
And what is her name? Amanda Serrano? She got robbed.
She got robbed.
I mean, point deduction, and she still loses, and she should have won even without the point deduction. I don't know who the judges were, but just absolutely crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty much a crime.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a hell of a fight. But the Tyson, I mean, listen, anybody who, I mean, Jake Paul was just, I mean, I don't know. I should have put $1 million on him at minus 200, as I said. It was free money. But anybody who thought that was going to be anything other than what it was the ones who were fooling themselves, right? I mean,
yeah. You know what it is?
60 years old.
I think part of, at least those of us who have seen Mike Tyson fight for real, back in the day, we're hoping that little piece would show up for a round or two and just dispose of this, because I think what it is too is
that's what people want to see more than anything else. They just want to see him get his butt kicked.
Jake Paul is so annoying.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're not an actual real prize fighter, so to speak. You got to have at least 10 years experience, and he's already lost to a guy who's not even ranked. And everybody else are not boxers that he fights. But we just wanted to see Mike Tyson say, you know what? I don't really care about the money. Pop. And he didn't do it.
The money is what he cared. The money is actually what he cared about.
Right. The money is what he cared about. He doesn't care. Did you hear? I think he said that he doesn't care about his legacy, stuff like that in an interview.
Yeah.
So it's like
60 years old, 20 million. Mike should get you. Should get you to home.
Right.
You would hope.
But I don't know if you noticed it in the first round where he tagged him twice. Really pretty good. And all of a sudden, that put Jake Paul on skates. He was backpedaling, running around, and then of course when they clinched, kind of gave him the old please. I thought we had a deal. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever any intention from either one of them to do any real damage. No. I think it was, let's get through 8 rounds, 16 minutes, let's go. And that's what happened. But it was whatever. I mean, I went in thinking that's what it was going to be, so it was no big disappointment to me. Because that's exactly what I thought would happen. I can't believe you could have bet that. I cannot believe he was minus 200. That was like free money. Speaking of betting, Aaron, I really did enjoy Carrie a lot on the show.
His betting, though. I can't really talk this weekend either, but
1-4 for the audience.
Yeah.
1-4 for the audience. How did you do?
Yeah, but
I went 1-3. This is my first losing weekend.
And how did Slick do?
2-2.
Okay, so there you go. Not great for anybody, but the audience is still struggling.
Yeah.
Still struggling. Carrie 1-4. And the only one he won was, of course, against what I would have had my best bet was, which is stupid Jets.
Yeah, whatever.
Which it looked like for a second, maybe I was going to look like Damon Nostradamus Namus or whatever Slick calls me.
Almost.
But then they just couldn't close the deal. So.
Nope.
But let's talk about UFC. So I'm in the city on Saturday night. I walked right by Madison Square Garden, actually took a picture. Secret Service was around.
Just to say that you were near.
A couple guys approached me for tickets, and I was trying to pull the trigger, even though I had to go to a dinner. But they were, even on the street, they were ridiculously expensive. But there was a lot of action around MSG leading up to the president getting there. So I went to my dinner and then walked back past MSG right around when the main card started around 10:15. And there was still guys selling tickets, and they still wanted unreasonable prices. So I ended up obviously not going and coming home. But I know Harry on the Highway and David Zier and Kalen Dorr, and I think that was, and then Brian Glenn, I think, joined them as well for a little bit. Did some coverage of the UFC fight because they had a camera. The news pool had a camera in there that I guess Dana White let in to be focused on Trump at his seat the whole night. It was just focused on Trump.
Right.
So you got to see the president, who of course is a huge UFC fan, huge Dana White fan. What a relationship the two of them have is just fantastic. And the president got, rightfully so, an absolute hero's welcome upon arrival to MSG. And what was great to watch was that the president has put together this coalition of not only the people with him who were there. Elon was there. Mike Johnson was there. Mike Johnson looks like this looks like the kid out of place. Like, hey, who brought him?
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's trying to fit in. No, come on, Mike. Come hang out. And And, of course, Kid Rock and Don Jr. and
RFK Jr.
Tulsi.
Yep.
So the whole crew is there. And, of course, the place just went mad for Trump, as they always do, and for Dana, who comes out with him. And but this time was different. You could just tell it was different. And, of course, he went right for Joe Rogan, and the crowd erupted again when the two of them hugged in this new bromance that the two of them have.
Yeah.
And Rogan was great, as he always is, on the call of how absolutely insanity it was in there when he came out. He said, it's always loud, but, man, this is different.
Yeah. And it's right in the heart of deep blue New York City.
So the president watched all the fights and almost all the fighters, except for Charles Oliveira, who kind of just walked by Trump and didn't acknowledge him at all. He's from Brazil. Almost all the fighters to each to one mentioned Trump or acknowledged Trump or went over to Trump. Obviously, Johnny Bones, the greatest to ever do it, once he beat Stipe, did the Trump dance in the ring, pointed at him, went over to him, gave him the belt. He said, I'm proud to be an American fighter. I'm proud to be a Christian American fighter. So Johnny Bones was on his game in all ways, on the mic, in the fight, in the ring. Just the best to ever do it.
With his foot.
Oh, man. That guy just, man, he'll take you apart. You'll never see it coming, no matter who it is. He's done it now just whoever he's fighting, it's always a different approach to get to where he thinks the weaknesses are. You see him share pictures of his training during the last 3-4 weeks, exactly that a kick that he was working on.
Really?
Yep. Unbelievable. But it's interesting to see the president come in, and he goes to Rogan, big thing,
right.
Goes to the announcers. Then you look around, and who's over there taking pictures with him? Theo Vaughn, Aiden Ross, Taylor Luan, bussing with the boys over at Barstool. All the places he went and spent an hour or 3 with them during the election season, right. All who ended up endorsing him, all who talked in favor of him, all who'd spent that time with him, putting him on their shows, showing how just normal he can be, especially, obviously, the Rogan. He got the Rogan endorsement late in the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it just had this whole different vibe of him there, with all these guys who supported him, interviewed him, had him on, talked about him, talked him up, had huge audiences, reached hundreds of millions of people through their platforms.
It was like a winner's circle.
It was like a winner's circle. It's exactly what it was. It was like a winner's circle, and it absolutely drove the mainstream media absolutely nuts. Dana White afterwards. I mean, here's how nuts it drove this is what sore loser looks like on the mainstream media the next morning on CNN. Take a listen to this.
Blog kids. He's flooded the zone with these picks and forced Republicans to choose. And I think it's interesting to me that he brought Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. to the UFC event last night. He is, frankly, giving, I think, supporter-based permission structure, and he's made these folks stars over the course of this campaign. I mean, in some ways, it's easy to view this, I think, through a different lens. Like, this is also just a person who won following through on campaign promises. He promised retribution, he promised vengeance, and he promised these kind of figures having prominent places in this administration, and he's delivering it. And for a lot of those supporters, that is the point of the Trump vote. And so I don't think that's the fullness of the electorate we saw on Tuesday. I think for a lot of people, they backed Trump probably as a rejection of the administration and weren't thinking of this as an endorsement of every single thing he's talked about. But for the hardcore base, the folks he listens to the most, they voted for Trump for the purposes of RFK Jr. riling the big pharma, right? And so what they are going to force those Republican senators to do is make a choice on those calls, and they will be doing so with the backing of the electorate. I don't think we could just say that they won't get through. I will believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, and it really looks like ancient Rome here. This is sort of conquering Republican Caesar who's going into the Colosseum, and everyone's cheering, and he's got his political gladiators with him. that appearance isn't just about him enjoying the applause. He's sending a message to the Senate.
For sure.
Like, not only are you entertained, but these are my people, and are you willing to fight? Because here's who I have.
And are any of us surprised?
Not just go have a nice night.
Right.
No. There's all these And you have to pay attention. There's all these.
Yes. You don't know that this is what the plan was the whole time, was to convey this look of ancient Rome.
Yes.
And people just, this is 8D chess, Damon. 8D, not 4D.
Alex, I'll take what sore losers look like for 500, please.
On a Sunday morning.
God almighty, these people. I'm actually enjoying watching all of this. We'll get into some of the other just whack nuts here that I've seen over the last couple days, including today. Live from Studio 6B, just getting started, 13 past the hour. We're back right after this.
Are we live in the chats?
We're live in the chat.
In the chat.
Chat, did you know that you were watching Ancient Rome?
Yes.
And the gladiators.
And not only are you entertained,
The gladiators.
You like the way he slid that in there?
Trump has put so much deep thought into going to UFC.
Yes. That it has to look like ancient Rome.
Hey, idiot. How about just having a fun night out, moron?
Yeah, and celebrating.
God.
And watching probably his favorite sport.
He's sending a dark message, you know.
This is dark MAGA.
These people. Oh, God, these people. They just have no idea what to do at this point. They're just clinging for anything that they can talk about. Anything.
Oh, there's Carrie. Oh, Carrie with it. Terrible. Sorry to hear that.
Oh, let's see. La, la, la. Chat. What's going on, chat? Molly on Facebook, Dan on Facebook. I see X, our friends on X. A lot of Facebook, a lot of X. Welcome on in. Gladiator Slick Rick is on his way. But I'm just warning you now, the Cowboys are playing tonight. So Slick
he might not be
Slick could be upright in his chair or he could be slumped under the desk, depending on the prize, the score of the game. He already texted me, he said, please have the game on. I said, they're already down 10, don't worry.
I thought you said 21.
Did I say 21? Hello, Sue on YouTube. Bucky's fan, what's going on?
Howdy, Rumblers.
Farmer Brooke, Child of the King, $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Big D. They are afraid, that's all. Oh, they're more than that, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
They are a scrambling. Oh, it's Cowboys in Houston tonight?
Yeah. Texas affair.
What's the line in this game?
I don't know, but isn't
Houston minus 4.5? Is that what I say?
Dak is out.
No, Houston minus 7? The hell's the line in this game? Houston minus 7. Okay, and 41.5. Ooh, that's interesting. God, I hate to say it. I think I'd have to take the Cowboys here.
Really?
41. How does Houston win by more than 7 and keep it at? Unless it's like 31, 21, 28, 17. All right, live from Studio 6B, 17 past the hour. On a Monday, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Hope you had a great weekend, everybody. What's going on, everybody, in the chat? Facebook, YouTube, Getter, X, Rumble, wherever you're watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to whatever channel you're on. Well, I'm going to be close. I told Slick they were down 21-0. They're now down 7-0. Opening kickoff, run back for a touchdown. Slick might take an.
Oh my goodness!
Slick might take a U-turn and just head home right now.
Or he might just drive into the studio.
God. Oh, there's a flag. He might get saved by the flag.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, he might get saved by the flag. Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. So. Well, I woke up this morning and I didn't see really a ton of news, Delgado, and I was my morning stream, I got started a little late.
You see a ton of news. There was a lot of news.
But then I saw there was a lot of news, this morning?
Yeah, all over the place.
What'd you see this morning?
Everybody melting down.
You didn't
Everybody
see nothing.
melting down. Just the meltdowns are amazing. I love them all. It always seems like there's one that takes it up another notch after you think, wow, that person is really out to lunch. They'll never recover. And then you see somebody else like, oh my goodness, what the hell's wrong with that person? And they run the gamut. It's wonderful. I love the melting down. And you know what's great also is that this stuff will never go away. No matter how they try to get rid of it, guess what? You'll always be able to find it online. It's great.
So I guess the first thing I saw that kind of made me, I guess at first I kind of laughed, and then I kind of thought about it, and then I kind of debated it in my head. What I would have done, of course, was maybe the big news of the morning, which was, of course, this clip right here.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections.
Oh, yes.
And they are scared.
Oh.
Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself.
Oh.
On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that.
Oh.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago
and met with Hitler. Oh, she doesn't say that. It's so weird.
To kiss the ring.
Weird here. She didn't say to meet with Hitler. She didn't say to meet with actual Hitler. To meet with almost Hitler.
To save democracy.
She didn't say listen to this. I was so ready for her to finish that sentence right there. And then we met with actual Hitler. But she doesn't say that. She says...
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump.
Oh.
It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against...
We talked about our ratings. We talked about the fact that tens of people watch us. We talk about the fact that during the first Trump administration, he was great for us over here at Whack Job MSNBC. It was great for ratings. He'd answer all questions. He talked to the media more than any other president. He was great for business. And we've spent 4 years calling him Hitler, calling for his family to be jailed, for him to be jailed, for calling him everything you could possibly think of under the sun. And now we went there to tell him that our ratings suck, the company's going to get sold, and we're basically going there in CYA mode to cover our you-know-whats, to try to save our jobs, save any reputation we might possibly have left. And, very important, we want you to know that we're going there to open communication. And my first thought was, who gives a hoot what the two of you think you're doing? Or even care? And I thought to myself, again, we've heard this about President Trump. He's more magnanimous than people give him credit for. He's willing to let bygones be bygones more than people give him credit for. We see what's happening with little Marco. Look where he is at now. You can go through many relationships in the heat of battle that he has made fun of and gotten into with and had a very tough relationship with and has let things go for whatever. But I have to tell you, this one, I give him a lot of credit because if I were him, I would tell these two to go pound sand until kingdom come, and I wouldn't let them anywhere near coming to Mar-a-Lago to discuss anything because, number one, nobody cares. Nobody's watching. And we know damn well, here's how you can judge this, in my estimation, and I could be totally wrong. People feel differently about it. They want to, let me just spin a little more of this.
Political opponents and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Mika and Joe have decided to restart communications with Trump World.
I don't think he's missed you.
Please, anyone raise your hand if you give a flying F that they want to open up relations and communications with Trump world. Who cares? Who cares? Why does he care is what I ask myself. Yeah. I give him a lot of credit because I wouldn't have these two. Who cares? Nobody's watching them. The place is in total disarray. What they put on the air as talent and expect people to watch is mostly disgusting. These two have called him every name in the book for 4 years. And ask yourself this. If the outcome of this election was reverse, do you think the two of them would have said, well, you know, you are a former president. You're going to go down as a historic figure, what you've done in the Republican Party. We want you to come up to MSNBC studios so we can open up talks and keep relations and open up communication as we now move on with President Harris. No, they would have been on the air the next morning saying, the judge better put him in jail for life, and that's not long enough. Yeah. Lock him up, throw away the key, and then go after his kids.
Yeah, they would definitely be dancing on the grave.
So who the hell are they kidding? That anybody cares what they think? And quite frankly, I don't know why he cares. Why he would have had them there.
You know what? I was thinking about that too. I'm like, why would he care?
And how did it not leak, by the way? That's shocking.
Maybe he didn't care. Maybe he wanted them. He wanted to see them grovel. Maybe that's it. Because do you actually believe that they're telling you the truth of exactly what they talked about? No.
Well, somebody said, I didn't see it. Somebody said he had very nice things to say about the meeting today.
Well, of course he would. But that's Trump.
Why, of course?
That's what he's going to say. But you know, inside, he probably is basking in the fact that they came down there and basically kissed the ring. And you know what? I think it also has to do with the fact that they could be liable. In other words, he could sue them. I mean, we've heard of a gentleman named Kyle Rittenhouse being lied about on the news and winning vast amounts of money from some of these news outlets. I wonder if they figured this could be on the offering and they better get their butts down there and try and say, look, it was just politics, man. We were just, you know, we're trying to help you out. You know, giving you the bad guy. We're playing bad cop to your good cop. I don't know, man. Or Damon, I should say. I just think there's something. I think there's something could be deeper here, and I think they're in CYA mode. In other words, we got to make sure we don't end up, being called into court and being sued for all the things that we've said. Because a lot of what they said, they knew it was a lie, and they said it anyway. So there could be a lot of money, and we're not talking about contracts. We're talking about lawsuits that could be coming their way, and maybe they're trying to get ahead of it.
Whoever does these fake Trump tweets put this one up and really almost got me this morning. But he does them so well, you believe they could be Trump's. He said, this morning, Joe and Mika, who owe their careers to me, went on their show to claim they met with me. They made it sound like we had a summit. The truth is, Joe begged to meet with me after our big win, and when I finally agreed, he approached me like a scolded dog. He should consider himself lucky that I didn't have him thrown out of beautiful Mar-a-Lago. Mika was charming, as usual. And I thought, what? I said, this guy's crazy. And then I realized it wasn't real. So, but it could have been real. Slick!
What's up, Big D?
Well, I'll tell you what's up. Houston's up 7-0.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Long year.
All right, we're back. News coming up.
Like that.
Chat. What's going on? How many people agree that you would not have had those two losers at Mar-a-Lago? Let me put a 1 in the chat if you would have had them. Put a 2 if you agree with me that you would have told them to go pounce sand. Take a short walk off of, whatever. Go for a swim, not far, just deep.
That
1 or 2. Let's see. Well, 1. Someone said starts with a 1.
I would have had them.
You would have had them, huh?
Just so I could see them squirm and kiss my you-know-what. Because I'm sure.
Okay, now, here we go. Now the audience is... Thank you. What? Oh, it's two. It's 99% twos.
That's what you always say.
Well, go look for yourself. I see them all.
I see a couple.
I've seen 3 ones so far. And I'm going to ban those people from the chat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
CD lame.
Just kidding. Come on, Slick. Let's go, Cowboys.
Every time they do something good, I'm waiting for laundry. Flag.
I like Philco on Twix. He said, one, I'd have them do work around the yard. Too many twos.
Hello.
All twos across the board.
It's gotta be.
Go pound sand. Oh, we're willing to open up. Oh, really? You're willing to open up communication? Who gives a crap what you're willing to do? Get out.
I'd welcome them down. Hey, come on down. Yeah, come down to Mar-a-Lago. Basically his home. Have them...
wait outside by the gate. Someone will let you in.
Have them wait outside the gate for a bit. What? Have them wait outside the gate a little longer than most people. Put them in a room by themselves while they wait. And they wait, and they wait.
Yeah, that's an interesting play there. Who was it, quarterback? Cooper Rush?
Yeah.
He had some success last year, didn't he?
He did. He went 4-1.
Yeah.
Was it last year or the year before?
Oh, it was last year.
Last year.
And the year before, he had success, too. He played a little bit last year, and then the year before, he had a lot of success. He can't run the ball. How'd they score the first touchdown? I was driving.
Oh, it was the opening kickoff.
You ran all the way in on opening kickoff, special teams?
Yeah, but they called it back.
Yeah.
They didn't call it back. It's 7-0.
No, they threw a flag.
Then they marched down the field.
Yeah, they threw a flag. How far did they bring it back? I don't think it was. I don't think it was long because I think they went down pretty quickly. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, getting the week started. Lots of news to get to. We'll do it in a second. Sports with the Slickster. Slickster, welcome on in. How was your weekend?
Very nice. Busy weekend.
We went to the America's First Warehouse together on Friday.
Oh, that's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back.
That's exactly
what I mean, it was nice being with you guys. I love you. But I mean, it was just, that was unbelievable. And Tyson became the butt of all jokes over the weekend.
Yes, he did.
They thought my underwear.
Yes, he did. Netflix, by the way, if you're going to do... if you're going to stream NFL football, you think around Christmas time, you might want to hire some server guys who know how to handle traffic.
Be a good idea.
Oh, my Lord. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. How about Saturday night, Slick? Did you watch any UFC?
I did not see John Jones. That was incredible, huh? I got that.
I was at MSG. I didn't go in, but I was there. I was trying to get in, but I didn't.
What happened? You went to the door?
He got the Kevin Downey Jr. treatment.
Oh, I thought a Chinese guy. He went in. He says, "No MSG."
No. The guys with the tickets were just. So I went to Rolf's, ROLFS. It's a German restaurant with my in-laws.
That sounds like what people do when they get sick drinking too much.
No, that too, yes. But no, it was good. Rolf's in NYC. Very good.
Nice.
All right, let's start with some news. Then we'll do some sports. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition, of course, which I never remember to say, but it is on the website, live from studio6b.com. All your multivitamins, great supplements. Check them out. 15% off right now. Live from studio6b.com. Rick Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, just when you thought the election was over, it's not over, Damon. Not if you're in Pennsylvania, as the...
it's over tonight in Pennsylvania.
The counting continues, believe it or not, or they tried to make it continue. Pennsylvania Supreme Court rejects the Democratic effort to count illegal ballots. Yes, they were still counting, believe it or not, and we don't know why, but they kept doing it. It's almost 2 weeks now since the election. The court held 4-3.
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is going to be a good marker for... if it's A.G. Gates, which I think it will be, and his team up there, this will be a good marker because we got Jack Smith to make President Trump's life what it was for not too dissimilar what they claimed behavior.
Yeah.
So what's the deal going to be? We're going to find out real quick if we're going to be playing ball on the same playing field with the same brass knuckles, or are we not going to?
Right.
Because this will be a good place to start what these people have tried to do.
Well, especially.
And where's the governor, by the way?
Oh, the governor is standing down.
Standing down? I think he's hiding under a standing down. Is anyone ever? Is he alive?
He's in a tanning bed getting his teeth done.
I think he's thinking about teeth. He's thinking, oh, if I do this, I can't run in 28. What am I going to do to protect myself? I'll just stay silent.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, according to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, it held at 4-3 that the ballot shall not be counted for purposes of the election held on November 5th, instructing counties to comply with earlier court rulings. Now, this has been going to court it seems like almost every day there's something to do with the court and the county in Pennsylvania, and they keep getting their butts kicked, but they keep trying to do it. It's almost like Joe Biden continually trying to pay people's student loans off when the Supreme Court has told them repeatedly you can't do it. Following the latest RNC lawsuit today, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled yet again that undated ballots cannot be counted. This is coming from RNC Chairman Michael Whatley. He wrote the statement on X. No more excuses. Election officials in Bucks County, Montgomery, Philadelphia, and other counties have absolutely no choice but to reject illegal ballots, and we will hold them to it. The Supreme Court Justice David Wett wrote in a concurring statement that it's critical to the rule of law that individual counties and municipalities and their elected and appointed officials, like other parties, obey the orders of the court. Bucks County commissioners voted last Thursday, to allow misdated ballots. So in other words, the Bucks County commissioners are in on the steal that they're trying to do in Pennsylvania to try and get the incumbent Bob Casey to try and get him to beat David McCormick, who has already reached the level where he's the senator-elect. The AP called the race for McCormick, who is now leading Casey by over 17,000 votes on November 7th. But don't worry, because that just means they just haven't printed enough ballots for Pennsylvania to overturn an election. So we'll see what happens. The lawfare isn't over yet, and they continue to try to, not only win this race, but other races out in California as well.
Well, it really comes down to whether and when Mark Elias is going to call off his merry band of thugs that are in there doing this, because he's the one that probably this all goes back to, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And this is what they did in 2020. And I know we're moving on, but no one wants to talk about the 20 million disappearing, or whatever it's down to now, 15 million disappearing voters from 2020 to 2024 in the Democratic Party. And now we're seeing this, just defiant right in your face. So what's going to change this kind of behavior?
Jail.
I guess we'll see.
Jail would change that.
I guess we'll see.
See what happens, though. Of course, it was a quiet weekend in Trump land, except, of course, if you were watching TV, especially on Saturday. But today, it comes out that Donald Trump has picked Fox News contributor and former House Representative Sean Duffy for Transportation Secretary.
Excellent.
Yeah, he was announced earlier today. He's going to nominate the former Wisconsin representative to be Secretary of Transportation, basically replacing Pete Buttigieg. The choice of Duffy, 53, is the second time Trump has made a member of the Fox News talent stable a member of his administration. Duffy, a former prosecutor, though they kind of leave that out when they start talking about these people. Duffy, a former prosecutor, represented the Badger State, Wisconsin 7th District for more than 8 years, is a contributor, as well as his wife, Rachel Campos Duffy, who's a host on The Weekend. I didn't realize that those two were married. Not only that, I think they were both on, did they meet on The Real World on MTV? Is that?
I do not know that, but I know we've had, I think it's their daughter, Avita, Duffy, on the show.
She now works for Dan Bongino.
She does a little morning show, which is good.
Yeah.
She's good. I watched it.
Admired across the aisle, Sean has worked with Democrats to clear extensive legislative hurdles, Trump said in a statement, to build the largest road and bridge project in Minnesota history. And he's a wonderful husband to a woman named Rachel Campos Duffy, as well as the father of 9 incredible children. Sean now knows how important it is for families to be able to travel safely and with peace of mind. So he'll be taking the reins over at the transportation.
Think about these upgrades
department.
We're getting.
Excuse me?
So do you think about these upgrades we're getting? Going from booty juice to
I know.
Just these upgrades in person and all these people. It's just it's hard to not to laugh on some of them.
Yeah, it's insane. It's almost it's almost crazy because we sit back and we look at all the people that the transgenders, the guys in dresses that get picked for these posts with the Biden administration. It's like, what happened to normal people? Oh, that's right. Normal people decided to come out and vote and decided to put an end to all this.
Trump's
garbage.
picking people who are unqualified. Pete Buttigieg. Yeah. They're going to argue. After Pete Buttigieg was the transportation secretary. After doing what in No Town, Indiana? No offense to Indiana, but what qualifications did he do? Did he have?
Well, he ran a small town in Ohio, right? He was a mayor.
I believe it was Indiana. That's what I just said.
Was it Indiana or Ohio?
I believe it was Indiana.
What was the question?
Yeah, exactly. All right, what else, Delgado?
All right, finally, of course, the woke mayors and governors around the country are promising not to help deport illegal immigrants, the latest being Democratic Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, who yesterday promised to protect illegal immigrants in her city from pending mass deportation, which can include the dreaded use of military forces. The president-elect Donald Trump has made illegal immigration and border security one of the focal points of his election. He even teased on Monday that he could declare a national emergency and use the military to conduct the operation if necessary. Elections have consequences, and the federal government is responsible for a certain set of actions in cities. No individual city can reverse or override some parts of that. This is coming from... I guess that was coming from the mayor of Boston. What we can do is make sure that we are doing our part to protect our residents in every possible way, that we are not cooperating in those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone, causing widespread fear. The mayor's comments come after the governor, Maura Healey, also vowed to use every tool in her toolbox to protect the state residents and said state police would not cooperate with the operations. There you have it. More lefties deciding that they know more about the country's safety than the people tasked with protecting the country.
All right, very good. We'll do some more news with Rick Delgado. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. Use our promo code LFS6B if you shop at MyPillow. We appreciate when you do that. It'll give you a great savings off the great stuff from Mike Lindell for the holiday season, LFS6B. And if you do, make sure you send us the receipt showing that you used the code, and you can pick something from our store absolutely free. Any T-shirt you want. Slick Rick, what's going on?
So much going on tonight in sports. Sorry, I missed the first segment. Oh, my God. Have a drink to that. Let's get to, we got to talk about the odds makers, Big D. We had the odds makers picks on Friday. Carrie was in.
Yeah, Carrie.
4-0, but he got carried away with that pick because guess what? Carrie went 1-3. Sorry, Carrie.
Carrie went 1-4. 1-3 in the NFL, 0-1 in college.
Yeah, he was. It was a rough
1-4.
We gave him an extra pick.
5-team parlay down, 4-team parlay down.
All right, well, Adam is 1-3, 1-4. Either way, shut the door. But all right, Carrie, maybe we'll come down and visit you in Vegas anyway one of these days, or wherever he was. Where was Carrie? Was Carrie in Vegas?
Yeah,
I don't know, but if he keeps betting like that, he ain't going to have that nice room in that.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to be trimming palm trees down there. And Aaron had a similar fate over the weekend, right, Aaron? You came in at 1-3 there as well.
Is he gloating?
Yeah, Denver.
He's gloating.
Denver over Atlanta.
How's he gloating? He went 500.
He went 2-2. How is he going to gloat?
I'm not gloating. I'm just
because he beat you, and he's like, Aaron had a similar fate.
no,
I did.
Yeah, we're just stating facts,
right.
Delga. Don't start any trouble here.
Right.
Okay. So Aaron, who's doing great by the way, but everybody's going to have a rough week. I was annoyed too. I was 2-2. I almost lost that Cincinnati was losing. What was it 27-6 at the half? I'm like, oh, I got this. Let me start watching something else. Oh no, they came back tied to that 27, but the Chargers with the big touchdown at the end ended up pulling it out. Slick Rick, I went 2-2, so I gained a little bit of traction there, but just the same, rough odds maker weekend. Boy, the picks have just been very tough. This has not been a good season this year. Speaking of not good seasons, we got NFL right now Monday night. I'm glad I didn't have to pick this game. Might be why I was late tonight. Ooh, very fortuitous. But right now it's 7-0. Texans over the Dallas Cowboys. AT and Torment Stadium, the home of the Tyson debacle on Friday night, is now having this debacle here. The only good thing in either game was the cheerleaders were in both. That was the only good, consistent thing that happened. Other than that, there's not much to say here. But Cowboys down 7-0 to a Houston Texans team that's trying to make some noise and make a playoff push here. So that's a scoop on that. NBA action right now at the half. The Sixers up 56-53 over the Heat. Bulls over the Pistons, 87-78. Pacers trail the Raptors, 69-57. That is also at the half. On the ice, Blue Jackets over the Bruins, 3-1. 3 to go there in the second. Avalanche over the Flyers, 1-0, 7 to go there in the second. And the 1-0 score, Oilers and Canadians. Ducks up 2-0 over the Stars, 2:12 to go there in the first period. Capitals and Utah Hockey Club coming up at 9, and at 10:30, Red Wings and Sharks. I'll have more sports. We got to talk about that Tyson fight, Big D. We're going to recap that, whatever we're both recapping. And of course, the great John Jones fight, handing the belt to the president where it belongs.
All right, so we'll have more sports. We'll cover it all. 17 till the hour, live from Studio 6B. More when we get back right after this.
There's a flag.
Yeah, gotta be. All right, chat. What's going on, chat? Chat. Hit the like, subscribe. Mark says, damn, college games are tough to pick this year. Man, sports betting's the hardest thing in the world to do.
It is.
The hardest thing in the world to do, and be good at it consistently.
It is. If everybody could do it, then everybody would be in Vegas. They would be building those beautiful
almost
buildings.
As hard as hitting a golf ball.
I don't know about that.
Have you ever tried to hit a golf ball?
Of course. I've hit golf balls.
No, he tried to hit a goofball. That's what he tried to hit this guy.
I've driven it like 350.
Yeah, you driven it 350. Yeah, you got in the cart with the ball.
The car, dropped the ball, and then here we go.
I got a 50-foot drive. I just dropped Delgado.
All right. I believe you, Delgado. I have no reason not to. Let's go to the range sometime.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Or let's just go play. Do you play?
I don't actually play. I played a couple times.
Well, what do? You just get up there and just try to...
I just try to mash
whack it into
I just mash.
Over the net?
I'm a masher.
It's par for the course for him. Yep, exactly.
Did you see that video of Tiger? There was a video. Some guy drives at 350, 400 yards, and they have the graphic where the line goes straight out. He's like, whoa, and Tiger's right there. He's like, all right. He puts his ball down, gets down on his knees.
Oh, that was the Barstool thing. That was a long drive contest with the guys from Barstool. Yeah, those guys don't hit it that far.
It's like he just cranked it, and they're like, ugh.
Broke Spoke says, Damon, calm down. About what? I have no idea. Illegal hands to the face, defense, first down. Drag Blacker says, Delgado addresses the ball when he plays. He says, hello, ball.
Hello,
ball. Hello, ball. Ed Norton.
Why won't you go in the hole? Go in the hole.
Address the ball. Hello, ball.
Ooh, I don't think the hard stuff. Damon, give Delgado a break. That's what Broke Spoke's mad about. I don't give you a break. What do you think about that, Delgado?
I don't know.
Let me think about it. No. My swing, that's my handicap. All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing some news. So, the other thing that's developed today that I want to talk about, and we've talked about, this whole Matt Gaetz, Attorney General. We've talked a lot about it. Why Matt Gaetz? And many have debated, why Matt Gaetz? How does President Trump think Matt Gaetz is going to get 51 votes? And we have talked for the last 2 weeks in the mornings and at night about the fact that, well, at least I have. I know you guys can remind me how you thought about this, but I never thought the president put Matt Gaetz up thinking he could get a straight up and down 51 votes. I'd never thought that would be the way they thought that they could get Attorney General Matt Gaetz. And we've talked about that video of Thomas Massey on the elevator. And on the morning show, I went through in some great detail last week about the appointments clause of the Constitution and the recess appointments and how they would be used, what the situation would be that the president would have the ability to use it. And there's really two scenarios where he could. One, they would need Johnson and Thune to kind of be on board and work with each other. One request, the other has to agree. But then you have to get votes of the members in the Senate would have to vote to put themselves in recess. And we said, when you're dealing with people like we have in the Senate, if you can't get them to vote for Gaetz straight up and down, you're going to get McConnell and Murkowski and Collins and others. And there's reports out there that say maybe even up to 15 to 20 of the Senate Republicans privately are saying they'd be a big no if they could on Gaetz. This morning, as I discussed last week, the other way the president could get to a recess is for him to use his presidential powers to put the House and the Senate in recess.
Yes.
And now that is a little stickier because it technically, I guess, has never really been. I don't remember if it's never been used or it's never certainly been challenged in court, which of course is really the only barometer you have to worry about because all of these things will end up in the courts. But there's no doubt that the president has the power to do it. And so this morning, I happened to see our own Steve Gruber put it out first, and then it kind of spread like wildfire after that. I saw it in many, many places, and Steve Bannon spoke about it on the morning show with Jeff Clark and Mike Davis this morning. And President Trump, I guess, has confided in people or spoke about the fact that he would also be looking to use the Vacancies Act of 1994, 97 or so to have to appoint if he had to.
98.
And so that broke this morning. Trump told Senate Majority Leader Thune that if Matt Gaetz is not confirmed by the Senate, he will appoint him using the Federal Vacancies Reform Act of 1998. And if you read it under the purpose, it says the purpose of S2176, the Federal Vacancies Reform Act, is to create a clear and exclusive process to govern the performance of duties and offices in the executive branch that are filled through presidential appointment by and with the consent of the Senate when a Senate-confirmed official has died, resigned, or is otherwise unable to perform the functions and duties of the office. So this has now taken a little clearer shape on what the president, I think, was thinking. Clearly, he researched more than just, oh, yeah, let's just put up Matt and think he's going to get a straight up and down vote. No.
Right.
No chance. That was ever the plan. Clearly, and actually, as Jeff Clark laid out today, the president may have even more than just two arrows in his quiver, as they say, to use on getting the appointments he wants. Now, is this the absolute plan of what he's going to do, or is he using this as a bargaining chip to say to 53 Republicans in the Senate, you better think about the fights that you want to fight and pick with me early on, because I'm not here to play around. The American people were presented this. They knew the people, or they should have had a good idea of the people I was surrounding myself with. And they voted on us. We won the Senate, we won the House, we won the popular vote, electoral vote. I brought many candidates across the finish line in all these states. It was an absolute landslide mandate election. The people have spoken. This is what they want. Don't play games with me, especially this early on. Give me the people I want. I'm not going to fight with you. And I have ways to do it that I don't need you. I don't want to go there.
Right.
But you damn well better understand that I'm willing to go there. If you think you are going to take on you're going to do your best Mitch McConnell impression and try to act tough, and after voting for Merrick Garland and seeing what he's done, or voting for Rachel Levine, you're going to now tell us that you're concerned about the qualifications of some of the people we're putting in. No, you don't get to tell us that. You don't get to set the roadmap for what victory will look like. The American people spoke to this, and it's not going to be up to you. What do you think, Delgado?
I've heard a lot of the same things you're talking about, but I also heard, and I'm trying to look it up because it just kind of sparked my memory on it, that I don't even think, because the way it's written, presidential cabinet appointees, are they call it advise and consent from the Senate. But that's where it ends. Advise and consent. It doesn't say that they get to choose, that they get the final say. So I think he's got, more than one leg to stand on, adding to the ones that you just talked about as well. I heard somebody making that point, and I wish I could remember it. It happened over the weekend. But it's an interesting, I guess there are a couple loopholes where he can kind of push his way through. And like you said, he's letting them know, look, I have different routes I can go here. Do you want to do it the normal way, keep it regular, or do you want me to just blow you guys out of the water? And I guess they have to make a decision. Do you want to retain what you have, or do you want him to blow you out of the water? And if you don't want that to happen, then get in line.
Here's a little bit from Bannon this morning with Jeff Clark and Mike Davis on War Room discussing how President Trump can not only use this with Gates, but if everyone's assuming that a soon-to-come Kash Patel for FBI director is coming, it'll be the same thing. Here's Bannon this morning.
We got to get this nomination. He should not be the deputy. He's got to run. The deputy runs the building, but Kash has got to be the front page. It's got to be the front porch of it. How important is Kash in doing that?
Well, I think Kash would be great, Steve, and so I'll hold back my congratulations until we see what the decision is. Sorry. Sorry.
But tell me about hold it. But for Kash, there's all this concern that they can't get confirmed. Talk about Trump's got two alternatives, and he said he just did the one in 1998 that he's going to use the Vacancies Act. But yours is actually more aggressive. What can President Trump do to get Gates confirmed and to get Patel confirmed if he needs it?
Well, before I unpack the recess appointments clause a little bit, Steve, let me say this. It's even better than that because you can combine the two tools. You could recess appoint somebody, and then that lasts basically for 2 years until the end of the next session of Congress, each session being a year. And then you can tack on another 210 days as acting after that under the Federal Vacancy Reform Act. So the tools are additive, like a kind of Kerpow synergy. So coming back to the recess appointments clause.
All right, we'll get back to the recess appointments clause when we get back for hour 2. Coming up, live from Studio 6B. Man, quick hour 1. Hour 2 coming up. We're back right after this. Chat, what's going on? What's going on? This show is the fastest 2 hours of my day. Gene on Facebook says, on YouTube says, thank you very much. Damon, I like your no bullshit take on it all. That's why I ask serious questions. That's from Kentucky Hill Jill. Hello, Carol, on Facebook.
Starting. Guys.
Slick, please ignore the game tonight, Sarge Jarb says. Maybe that's your best chance.
Probably right.
You want me to put something more on that's better to watch? Like
yeah, put the sixes on. Let me watch that misery. There's another.
Do you want me to put on Mika and Joe this morning from this morning?
That'll be
Morning
fun.
Joe?
No, please don't put that on.
That's as much of a disaster as your Cowboys are.
And your Sixers.
And your Sixers.
And the Islanders.
And your guy doesn't play again tonight. I don't know how you guys put up with this.
Yeah. He's always taking nights off.
Crazy.
He's sick today. He's actually playing.
He is?
He's got he ain't doing too good, but he's playing.
So he's not playing.
Oh, at least he's playing.
He showed up. He fogged the mirror.
Oh, God, false start. Oh, get rid of the fat coach.
False start.
Jerry.
They threw the flag on Jerry. False teeth. Oh, Jerry. Oh, Jerry got some of that Tyson money on Friday night. Oh, yeah. Everybody got paid off. They read the script. It was over. That was the worst. Oh, my God. The best part of the
Can we just get a live camera of Jerry in the booth, in the box? Let's just get a 24, put him in the lower right-hand corner.
How about let's just put him in the... No, I won't say that. Look at this. Whoa.
No, it's going to stand.
Wait, both.
All right, hour 2 live from Studio 6B, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some more sports. Rick Delgado's got the news coming up. Aaron. Aaron's holding it down. Fran, what? Aaron's holding it down. Brianna's sitting in for Fran, who's still on vacation. When's Fran come back? Fran comes back on Thursday. Man, this is a long break. Fran's having the week of his life, not having to deal with us.
He may not be coming back.
He may not be coming back. Oh, God. So we were talking about Jeff Clark this morning on with Bannon, breaking down the appointments clause. And again, this is kind of what we talked about. I really went into it a lot last week on the morning show, going into the appointments clause and really the two directions that the president can go. So let's just go back because Jeff does they do a great job of breaking this down from the morning show this morning on War Room. Here's Jeff Clark on the appointments clause.
You could appoint somebody, and then that lasts basically for 2 years until the end of the next session of Congress, each session being a year. And then you can tack on another 210 days as acting after that under the Federal Vacancy Reform Act. So the tools are additive, like a kind of Kerpow synergy. So coming back to the recess appointments clause, the president has had this power since the founding of the Constitution, hundreds and hundreds of recess recess appointments have been made in our history, including by modern presidents. And for some reason, surprise, surprise, the media and a lot of the never Trumper types want to pretend that this is not a power that the president has, or if he exercises it, the sky comes falling. None of that is true. And why is it that President Trump is looking at exercising that power now? It's because the confirmation process, especially as to Republicans, has gotten out of control. In my lifetime, I've seen Judge Bork, an honorable man, a Yale law professor, massive antitrust theorist, go down because of attacks. I've seen Clarence Thomas, them nearly take him out with their high-tech lynching, and I've seen them attempt to take out Brett Kavanaugh, which thankfully was stopped by Mike Davis and others working with Justice Kavanaugh. So in order to push back on that in the hurly-burly of the separation of powers, President Trump is talking about using this recess appointments clause power, and there are many of us who think that he should in order to set right the boundaries between the branches of the government.
Davis, you've done confirmations in some of the toughest at the Supreme Court. Is Clark right? Is that the confirmation process gotten so bad, particularly for Trump, that he has to look at these, quite frankly, I guess, powers, but it looks like extraordinary power, sir, including this one that Clark writes about, that he could essentially force Congress into recess and then do his recess appointments, sir?
Every option should be on the table. I was the chief counsel for nominations for the first year and a half for 18 months of Trump's administration, and Jeff Clark was one of the nominees who languished in the Senate along with many others for a senior Justice Department post. And it was because the Democrats used every obstruction tactic they could. They had the bogus Russian collusion hoax scaring the Republicans into thinking that Trump was appointing all these Russian assets into these key posts. And it's nonsense. And we should not play their games this time. I broke almost every piece of china in the Senate to make sure we confirmed President Trump's nominees, and we should not play games this time. We should move forward. And if they don't want to, if the Senate doesn't want to move forward on Trump's qualified nominees, they have a constitutional duty in the Senate. I get that. They have to make sure that the people have good character and fitness and they're qualified, but they should also defer to the president on his cabinet picks and his other senior executive branch picks. And if they want to obstruct, just to obstruct, then Trump needs to use the appointments, the Vacancy Act and the recess appointments to get his people picked. I would say this about Kash Patel. He is very qualified for this job as the FBI, and he should get confirmed. And he should get confirmed very quickly because he is very good at this job. I know that Grassley's office, his chief counsel for oversight and investigations, thinks very highly of Kash Patel and worked very closely with Kash Patel on Crossfire Hurricane and other critical oversight. It knows Kash Patel is a very serious lawyer, a very serious national security official, a very serious reformer. Kash Patel is perfect to go reform the FBI, and I think he's going to have pretty strong support on the Senate Judiciary Committee with Chairman Chuck Grassley's office, and that's going to lead to his confirmation.
Yeah, and there you go. And I think the most important part about what Mike Davis says is, yes, we would like to let the Senate do their job, advise and consent, approve the president's nominations, unless there's some absolutely glaring reason why you should be deferring to what the president wants. If you're going to obstruct because you think that so-and-so is too mean, or you don't like his tweets, or you didn't like his CPAC speech last year, or it's going to be some nonsense like that, well, then the president's going to reserve the right to do what he has to do under the authority given to him in the Constitution, whether you like it or not. And I think that's the most. We're willing to play ball, but we are not willing to let you obstruct.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing, the obstruction part. It's like, if you got a good reason, great, let's hear it. But if you're just going to say no because you have a bug up your ass about, oh, well, we don't like Trump and we don't like anybody he's bringing in, well, that's too bad. That's not a reason. That's too bad. So either get in line or you'll get pushed out of the way. And he has the power, which is nice to see.
Yeah. And if you didn't, I don't know if I did this on the night show or I don't remember, but there's a great article over at the Heritage Foundation who looked at all of this back in the day and basically lays out the situation on the adjournment clause, which is what we're talking about, where it says basically the adjournment clause says that the president may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them, and in the case of disagreement between them, with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper. That is the part of the adjournments clause that the president is going to use as a last resort. If we can't get an up and down vote, if we can't get Johnson and Thune to agree to go into recess for 10 days on their own, then you're going to force me to use this specific clause in the Constitution in the adjournments clause, which says, again, the president may, on an extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them, and in the case of disagreement between them, with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper, which I think he thinks properly is probably going to be about 11 days.
Right. And I don't know, in listening to and hearing that being talked about all weekend and then going over it right now, it kind of makes me think back to the weekend. Damon, what did we see? We saw President Trump striding like with a hero's welcome at Madison Square Garden, flanked by Dana White and Elon Musk and RFK Jr. and Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson, it really doesn't seem like he belongs in a space like that. He seems a little more of a homebody type of guy. But guess
that
what?
Wasn't
come on, Mike. You can come.
What?
Come on, get in the back seat.
You can come, Mike.
But guess what?
Got an extra ticket.
Lose the tie.
He's got Mike Johnson in his pocket. He's bringing him around. He's got him on Trump Force One. He's bringing him to the big crowds. Yeah. So when this does go to a disagreement, which is probably what he's expecting with Thune, if it does, he knows he can rely on Mike Johnson, and they can get this done. What do you think? That's a theory. I have a theory. He's kind of elevating this guy.
Well, he needs Johnson and Thune to go that way. Remember, again, if there's a disagreement between the Senate and the House where they themselves cannot get to an adjournment,
right,
then the president has, as a last resort, the ability to adjourn both houses and set a new time to convene, which is up to him. Which, again, I think he'll say it's about 11 days.
Yeah,
since he needs 10 to do these recess appointments.
I don't know. I think he's thinking way down the road, saying, in case we do go this route, Mike, you're my guy. He's giving him his support for the new speaker. He wants to make sure he's got his ducks in a row.
Thune has to be more his guy than Johnson. Johnson just has to go, okay, that's what Thune wants? Yes. So, yes, he needs Johnson, but he needs Thune. And he needs all the members of his party in the Senate, which he's not going to have.
Right, but I'm saying if Thune decides to be a fly in the ointment, as they say, he's got Johnson to say, okay, then you guys disagree, then you're both out. We're adjourning. Then he has the power to adjourn, right?
No. If Thune doesn't agree, then it doesn't matter. What Johnson's left out of the equation. Then Trump.
It says you just read it. In the case of disagreement between the House and the Senate, with respect to the time of adjournment, the president may adjourn them to such time that he shall think proper. So if they don't agree on an adjournment, he can say, you guys can't come to an agreement, I'll do it for you. Kapoo. You're done.
Right? But
that's the way it reads.
But it first has to be Thune to say we need to go into recess. And then Thune would go to the House and say, hey, we've decided we have to go into recess. And then Johnson would just go, okay. But if Thune and the members can't go to recess, if they can't get the vote, then it has to go where the president puts them both and says, I'm doing it myself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right.
But do you understand?
So that's why I'm saying Johnson is, if Thune doesn't agree to go get a vote to go into recess, Johnson's not a part of that.
Right. But I'm saying he's got Johnson as his, he's got him in his stable, so to speak. So if he does get to that point, he doesn't have to worry about Johnson stabbing him in the back later because he's
if he got to that point.
Right.
But the whole ball of wax is going to be Thune agreeing to go into recess and then having the votes to do it. Because Thune could want to do it, and if he can't, if these people are not going to vote for Gates on a straight up and down vote, they're not going to vote to go to recess, knowing that that's just semantics for the president to do it himself. So that leaves it back to the president to adjourn both houses on his own, anyways. You understand what I'm saying? So Johnson is left out in the dark there. We don't even need to get to the Johnson part. If Thune doesn't agree and then has the votes, then it goes back to the president to do it on his own. And again, if you don't know this Noel Canning case, the Supreme Court case on this Noel Canning decision, this adjournment clause was actually mentioned in that decision in discussions about the problems that a president faces whose nominations are stalled in the Senate. In the majority opinion, Justice Stephen Breyer cited the adjournment clause as the provision in the Constitution that, quote, gives the president a way to force a recess. So many things here to keep an eye on, but clearly I think this is where the president is going. I think he's thought that all along. And the vacancy clause is just going to be another thing he's going to hold over their head and say, if I have to, I will.
Oh, stop it. The officials hate Dallas. Please. Just say they suck.
They do.
Okay.
No, but
it has nothing to do with the officials.
But the calls are.
We have an interview too, yeah. Forgot about that.
But the Cowboys suck. Just say it. The Cowboys suck.
They do.
That's why the helmet's upside down.
Yeah.
You're a team in distress.
Oh, the Jets did good this weekend, and the Giants did good.
Yeah, Giants did great.
How'd the Jets play? They had that.
Giants didn't lose.
Oh, they didn't. They were in a no-win. They were in a no-win situation.
And a no-lose situation. Right. I had a good weekend.
Sound like Luke right there. How's the YouTube doing? How's my friends on the go to the YouTube work?
I've been to the YouTube.
You have the show this morning, Big D?
Yeah.
I didn't get notified.
I was a little late.
I didn't see it.
I just have Birch here, and then we have the interview. Got it.
See, now, why do you say it only the Senate has to be the one to adjourn? Or because according to this, and this is from the Cato Institute, disagreement only occurs when one chamber actually expresses its disagreement with the other. It's not saying that the Senate has to do it first, then the House can act. According to this, since they're one chamber of Congress, if the House disagrees, you know what I mean?
No.
In other words, you were saying that the only way you get to a disagreement is that the Senate has to start it. According to
I
this,
didn't say the Senate has to start it. The Senate has to vote. Get it.
I don't know if
Johnson have to vote.
see that's not what I'm reading here. What do you mean if it can't get to?
Same people would have to vote. I sound like the blues? Let me talk to you about our friends at Birch Gold. For those of us holding our breath for the past several months, we can now exhale. Work can finally be done on the major issues the country's facing, one of the most significant being, of course, our national debt. The fact is, our nation is broke, and that debt is a house of cards that can't quickly be dismantled. So the strategy remains the same. Diversify your savings. That's why you buy gold from Birch Gold. So many things are out of control, out of the president's control. It's important to have a safe haven for your savings. Birch Gold Group, the gold company you want to look at, they'll convert your IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. And the best news is it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. Text America to 98988. Get your free information kit on gold. Plus, right now, through Black Friday, you'll receive a free 1-ounce silver eagle for every $5,000 that you purchase. Protect your savings with Birch Gold. Text America to 98988 and claim your eligibility for free silver today. Text the word America. Send it to 98988. Get your free information kit from our friends at the Birch Gold Group. Plus, claim your eligibility for a free 1-ounce silver eagle for every $5,000 that you convert over there with our friends from Birch Gold. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. And here with that is Slick Rick. Slick, what's going on?
All right, there is a game going on down in Dallas, but you can check your own TVs for the score there. I'll give you the score. It's 17-7. Houston up. Dallas just has no answer for, well, anything. I mean, I don't even think the parking attendant has an answer for anything at this point. But, yeah, it's 17-7, second quarter, about another 9 minutes to go in this half. And then, well, we'll see. We have to stick by your team, though. Some people are saying, Slick, pick a team. I have been a Dallas Cowboy fan for 50 years. I'm a fan since 1974, so long time.
Sorry to hear that.
Me too. Well, I had 5 Super Bowls. I did okay in my lifetime. But let's get to some sports. Big D, because that is not sports. Let's see. UFC champ John Jones hands Trump title belt. Thanks him after knockout win. Forget about that Tyson fight. That was a joke. It was a debacle. I'll run a story on that right after this. But let's talk about the true meaning. Now, we have somebody in the Get It Chat, S. Tukey, who's always been in the chat. Big UFC fan. Always getting on me for reporting on things like the Tyson fight and the MMA when we should be talking about, well, the great John Jones. And here's the great story right here from Breitbart, Olivia Rondeau. UFC heavyweight champ John Jones handed his title belt to President-elect Donald Trump after winning his Saturday night fight and thanked him for being there. Jones, who beat former heavyweight champ Stipe Miocic via a technical knockout in the third round of their Madison Square Garden match, also did the famous Trump dance after landing a devastating body kick and his final blows to Miocic's head. UFC commentator Joe Rogan, you've heard of him, right? Could be heard laughing in the background, exclaiming, "He did the Trump dance." I also want to say a big, big thank you to President Donald Trump for being here tonight, Jones said in the ring after his win, to a thunderous applause from the crowd. After doing the Trump dance again, he led the crowd in the USA, USA, USA chant. "I'm proud to be a great American champion. I'm proud to be a Christian American champion," Jones added, concluding his post-fight speech. After exiting the cage, Jones went up to Trump, handed him his heavyweight championship belt, and shook his hand. Trump also did own his own dance at one point during the event when the speakers played the iconic YMCA song. The president-elect attended the event alongside UFC's CEO Dana White, ex-owner Elon Musk, House Speaker Mike Johnson, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., former Hawaii Rep Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy, musician Kid Rock, and his sons Don Jr. and Eric Trump. MAGA Square Garden was in attendance that night for sure, Big D. The crowd was it sounded like the Rangers won the cup when he walked in, right? The thunderous ovation was just out of control. So, and John Jones, well, one of the best ever to do it, Big D, right? No argument there. Right, one of the best.
No, not one of the best. The best.
The best. Yeah, I would say. Well, I'm trying to be polite.
He might be the best of any two people fighting.
Oh, wow, that's saying something. He's just incredible. And, well, we got to get to some Tyson story. So I know everybody saw the debacle, so we're not going to reroute that eight-round sleeper, 2-minute round, 16 minutes of Tyson biting on his gloves, Jake Paul posturing and posing. But one of the big spots, and Big D picked up on this right away, too, was Netflix showcases Mike Tyson's bare buttocks before 65 million people. Alan Mastrangelo of Breitbart Sports. Netflix showcased boxing legend Mike Tyson's bare buttocks before an estimated 65 million people on Friday Friday night ahead of his fight against Jake Paul. While the Almanac had informed the public that November 15th would be a full moon, Tyson's bare buttocks appearing live on Netflix was likely not the type of moon people were expecting. So quite a joke. But really, there's a report out that the fight was scripted. I don't know if you guys saw that. New York Post
that was fake.
Reporting. Yeah, it was fake news. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Got to have some faith in boxing, but he pretty much carried him the whole fight, Jake Paul, right? Tyson came out one round, threw a few punches, and that was it.
By saying the script that was circulating online, the script was fake.
Right.
But yes, it was a faked fight. It wasn't a real fight.
It was, but I think that he was instructed that Tyson couldn't throw an uppercut because at least I could say he never did. And that's the one devastating punch. That's where he's made his money on, was that fight on that. So, but yeah, so that debacle's over. Like I said, that's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back, having sat and watched that. Thank God Netflix was nice enough not to charge anybody other than for their usual subscription. So overall, it was a good deal. So I know you want to get onto other stuff, so that's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
Oh, you can do whatever. You got more stuff? I got plenty of time.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm taking in some of this game and trying to keep in touch.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You just want to get done so you can watch your Cowboys lose some more.
This game is already done.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Slick. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6P is the promo code to use. Let's do news. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition. Available over at livefromstudio6b.com. Rick Delgado's got the news. What's going on?
All right. Well, just piggybacking off of Slick Rick Sports, I thought I'd include this Trump dance compilation. This is cut number 2. Check this out. As not only do you see it, and we've been talking about this since the election, how more of these sports figures seem to be. It's almost like a burden has been. They've been unburdened by the
what they've been
fact
what they have been burdened for.
That they don't have to hide their support anymore, and see it for yourself. It's taken over all of sports, it seems like. Football, college, and the pros. They're getting in on the Trump dance mania, Damon. Look at it. In the end zone, whether it's there you go, there's Hulk Hogan on stage. You got more college kids into it. West Virginia into it. That's in Australia.
That's
They're
amazing.
into
it. The NFL, they're losing their minds over this.
Yes. So as you can see, the Trump dance taking center stage.
Yeah. Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions doing the golf.
Yeah. There's Jones.
John Jones.
Johnny
Come on.
Yeah.
Bones.
Boom.
Up. Australia, right? Who was that? Where's she from?
Yeah.
She was Italy.
Italy.
Aiden Ross.
Oh,
with the president. Yeah.
It is soccer. That's it. The Pink Panther.
The towel dance is taking its own.
Even the Longhorns are in on it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's also crossed over oceans, Damon. I know we've pointed out in the UK and in Italy, but also now the Trump dance makes an appearance in China. This is cut number 1. Look at this. This guy shows up. He's got the YMCA playing in the background. He jumps up on stage and starts doing the Trump dance in China.
There you go. Why not?
I'm not sure President Xi is very happy about this.
That guy will be falling out of a window somewhere.
This guy might go missing.
Falling out a window near you.
He might end up somewhere making Nikes for the rest of his life. I don't know. We'll find out.
See another Russian, somebody Russian, I think it was a ballet dancer.
Oh, yeah. They just fall out of buildings.
Fell out a 60-foot window.
Wow.
Who had criticized Putin the war in Ukraine. He's dead.
Yep.
Well, usually that's what happens.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Not many
dangerous business.
And finally, this is my final clip. Of course, liberal meltdowns are all the rage on the internet. This is my favorite one. This is one I found today. Cut number 3. Check this out. It's liberal meltdown to metal. There you have it. So much fun you can have with liberals melting down online.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
You really hate me that bad.
5. I understand that. I'm going to call this guy who's her representative. I can see that. They said she's standing by. Damn it. 757-675-8.
Yeah.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. Glad you're in. If you're following us on social media, or if you haven't followed us on social media, make sure you do. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel at LFS6B, pretty much everywhere. At LFS6B Show on Instagram. Well, we're still waiting for the Treasury Secretary appointment from President Trump, and that's going to be an interesting one, given where inflation's at, given what's going on in this country. Americans now need an additional $11,000 just to cover the basics. We're looking at people's credit cards. They keep going up. Their savings keeps going down. And it's obviously a real problem for people who are carrying credit card debt to an all-time high, and those trying to carry the weight of that debt and what to do about it. Please welcome back to discuss this and a whole lot more. Back to the show, Jillian Barbary. She here with Done With Debt. Jillian, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Really good. Holidays, that crunching debt time. It's the worst time of year. Think about it. Most people are feeling the of what's happening at 11th year, but the fact.
Aaron, is that Jillian? Hold on a second. We're having a problem with your audio. We're getting like every fourth word. Is Aaron? You want to try to recommunicate or reconnect? Yeah, let's try to reconnect with Jillian and see if we can get the audio worked out. All right. Well, I still hear Aaron. So do you want to? Okay, we're gonna try to reconnect with Jillian and see if we can get the audio working where we can hear, because I think she was saying there, and it's an important lead going into this time of the year.
Oh yeah,
going into the end of the year, going into the shopping season, people are looking at their situation, going, "Well, I'm already. I'm already trying to make. I don't even know.
Already having trouble making ends meet. Now you want me to get you gifts too?
Yeah, exactly." All right, let's see if I think we've got Jillian back. And Jillian, if you can hear me, I think you were saying going into this time of the year, it's a tough time of the year for people who have been trying to make ends meet, deciding between food bills or heating bills and gas bills and this bills, and now they're going into a time where they got to shop, and it's just going to be more debt.
100%. So, two of me, I hear two of me. Yeah, there's one greater than one. That's two. Guys don't have a. Anyway, so here, and I want to realize this time of year, one's offering you cards, and what happens? They're working against, not working for. You're going to have people that are low credit cards, all this good stuff. It's worse for you in the long run. Let's face it, that big money for us as a consumer, but certainly for banks and credit companies. So here's what done, right? We find ourselves in this situation. What done with that? Contact them. They get you your own dedicated team. Okay, people look at all your, put it out there. Ain't gonna go away. Throw it out. It's like, here's what and they're gonna stand. And all debt collectors, whether that's through mail, through phone calls, they'll cut those rates, penalty negotiations. Sometimes they get wiped out. Right, depends on who the company. And again, these are all to people that know what they're doing. As that consumer citizen, we don't available out there. So this is the best part. That some people have even ended up money in their end of the month. Here's the real front time. It is worth every time your call or the goes up, right?
All right, Aaron, we're gonna have to try to get back with Jillian. I mean, we just can't hear what she's saying. I don't know why it is, but we're just gonna have to. I just can't hear her. So, well, I mean, what she was saying though is important. Obviously, what Done With Debt does. You can go to donewithdebt.com. You get your own dedicated team. They'll create a strategic plan for you. They'll stand in front of you. They'll get the job done. Get rid of the threatening phone calls. From some of these credit card companies. Obviously, you look at the interest rate on what you're paying on these credit cards right now. It's just absolutely outrageous. So they'll cut interest rates and penalties. They'll renegotiate your balances. So they'll get you in a place where you can at least manage it, which is what you want to do. And then they'll help you, without taking new loans, which is one of the more important things, because a lot of these places, you're just paying, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. And it's like, well, I'm not gaining any ground. So check them out, donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com, and see if they're right for you if you're in that situation. It's a perfect time to let them negotiate for you on behalf of you. Visit their website or give them a call. Talk to one of their debt experts. You can do it for free. You've got nothing to lose. Go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. All right, let's do some news. And here with the news is Rick Delgado. Delgado, what's going on?
All right, now that we know that the ballot counting has been stop and go, and they're counting ballots they shouldn't be counting over in Pennsylvania, Trump campaign official says Pennsylvania Democrats will face jail time over this ballot recount. That's according to Trump campaign official Chris LaCivita. He predicted election officials in Pennsylvania can face jail time for counting mail-in ballots with either incorrect or missing dates after the state Supreme Court previously ruled such ballots should not be counted. LaCivita said they will go to jail. Trump's campaign manager posted on X last night, and you can count on it. LaCivita was reacting to social media posts touting Washington Free Beacon's article detailing Democrat Senator Bob Casey's endorsement of Democratic Buck County Commissioner Diane Ellis Marsaglia last year during her campaign for the position before she and other Democratic commissioners in the state voted to count the disqualified ballots. Pennsylvania, it's in the midst of the ballot recount after Casey refused to concede his race to Senator-elect Dave McCormick, the Republican. Earlier this month, McCormick's unofficial margin of victory stands roughly at 17,000 votes, or within the 5.5% threshold required under Pennsylvania law to trigger an automatic recount. So we'll see what happens there, but, tough words finally from somebody coming back saying, look, we see what you guys are doing. We see the shenanigans. This is against the law, and they should be held accountable. Not whether it's in Pennsylvania, it's in Arizona, it's in Wisconsin or Michigan, wherever this stuff is going, or California, they should all be on notice that we see what you're doing, and you should be held accountable for it. So we'll see what happens, but we're hoping for the best.
Yeah. You look now at where we are with Trump's confirmed announced pick, Sean Duffy, Secretary of Transportation, Brendan Carr, Chairman of the FCC. Boy, if you don't know Brendan Carr, do a little follow of him on X and see some of the stuff he's talked about. See some of the stuff he's already talked about and commenting on about DEI. Talk about you should call it DOA, because you talk about dead on arrival with this guy. Absolutely, Chris Wright, Secretary of Energy. Again, didn't know a lot about Chris Wright, but boy, you look at him. He is going to be very good for the fossil fuel industry. So you want to talk about turning things around, boy. Trump's putting together here we said it's like the first round of the NFL draft, man. Just every one of these picks is like is an absolute all-star. Caroline Leavitt, press secretary. Yep. I was really happy to see him. Will Scharf is going to the White House staff secretary. Will Scharf, brilliant attorney, ran for attorney general out there in Missouri. Doug Burgum at Interior, and of course, as we said, I'm not a huge fan of Burgum, especially the war on conservatives he waged in North Dakota, but probably if you had to put him somewhere, I think Interior is certainly better than Energy, and Chris Wright looks wonderful over there at Energy, the little that I've looked at him. Stephen Chung, Director of Communications at the White House. Sergio Gore, Director of the Presidential Personnel Office. Doug Collins, Secretary at the VA, obviously, and then, the ones we have obviously already known about, RFK, Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard, Marco Rubio, Stephen Miller, Dan Scavino, James Blair, Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth. Boy, they've really turned their focus as much on Matt Gaetz. Did you notice how much fire Hegseth now taken? Yeah. A lot of incoming for Pete Hegseth. And that's one that I really hope the president stands firmly behind. And if this is this appointments clause road that he's going down, and he's going to himself put both the House and the Senate in recess to be able to do this, if he has to do that for Pete Hegseth, I say all in. John Ratcliffe, obviously CIA, Steve Witkoff, Bill McGinley, White House counsel, Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff, Tom Homan, Board Czar, Mike Waltz, National Security Advisor, Lee Zeldin, EPA Director, Elise Stefanik, UN Ambassador, Mike Huckabee, Israel Ambassador to Israel. That can't come quick enough, by the way. All of them can't come quick enough. But, man, what a team.
And we're still waiting on FBI. And
waiting on FBI, waiting on Treasury, waiting on Commerce, who I believe will be Linda McMahon.
The name's still floating around. A lot of people are saying they're hoping for a Kash Patel.
Yeah, I hear that. FBI.
Well, I mean, Steve talked about it this morning almost as if it was done. I mean, I don't, obviously we still have not seen, unless it's happened in the last 5-10 minutes, have not seen any official anything from the president. But Slick, I did see this, which I thought we can end this segment with, even though we'll do sports in the next segment. Kristen Pulisic, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, the star from the U.S.
The soccer player?
Pulisic, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Pulisic.
Pulisic, I think it's Pulisic.
Yeah, Pulisic.
They're playing Jamaica tonight, and I guess I don't know if it's a friendly or what it is.
Exhibition.
But here is the goal. As you can see, he scores right there. And you can add this to the video that you just played before.
Here we go.
Serious?
Delgado. Let's go to the corner and let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
YMCA.
Let's go.
He's starting a rage.
Wow.
The president started a rage.
There you go.
A dance craze.
Especially the men's national team, USA. Come on, let's go. Let's get some USA pride there. As Dana White said in the post conference for UFC 309, you can just feel the weight lifted off of the country.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's undeniable. He said New York City feels like New York City again. By the way, I saw the New York City mayor go up to Trump at UFC 309, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, after the Al Smith dinner, where Trump clearly talked to the New York City mayor and said, "Hey,
we got a lot in common.
Hey, mayor, I feel you. I feel your pain, baby. I feel your pain."
Yeah, we got the same deal with the
well, the New York City mayor
Department.
went to see President Trump at UFC 309, went over there and spoke to him.
Yep.
And the president gave him a very warm welcome and hello.
That's the kind of guy he is.
And, but Dana White's absolutely right. I mean, look at this. Another guy breaking out the Trump dance. USA, let's go.
There you go.
You can just feel it.
We're unburdened.
You can absolutely just feel the change. And we're still a month away.
Yeah.
More than
them even taking office.
But you see,
more than that.
33 days.
But CBS edited out Rita's Trump dance.
I mean, 63 days. What am I saying? 33 days. It's not December. Yeah.
You don't know how to count.
63 days. 63, 4 days. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to count. By the way, this morning when I looked at the Vacancies Act, I thought it said the Vaccines Act at first.
At first, it looked. I thought the same thing. I'm like, what?
The National Vaccines Act he's going to use.
Some of them need it.
All right, we're back to wrap it up right after this.
Nailed out on the birds.
Eric Erickson says, if Trump can put Congress into recess to fill vacant spots that existed before Congress recessed, then Democrats can do it too. I oppose Democrats doing that. I hope Donald Trump fails at this task. I would not want him to set a precedent for a future president AOC or some such.
Well,
if we're going to live by that, if we're going to live by that, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Because you know what? Nothing would stop them. They're ready to trash the filibuster as soon as they get a chance. So, you know what? If they're going to play by those rules, we got to play by those. That's the only way you win.
Chris Berman did. It picked it.
All right, 13 to the hour live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Last segment of the show. Glad you've been a part of it. If you're on social media, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, follow the channels. Slick's been doing sports. Delgado's been doing news. We got time for a little bit more of both. Let's start with sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. MyPillow, LFS6B is the promo code to use. If you're going to shop at MyPillow this week, if you want to use our code, we appreciate when you use it. Great way to support Mike Lindell. Great way to support us and the show. And if you do use it, make sure you send us your receipts, and you can get a free T-shirt from our store at livefromstudio6b.com. Slick, what's going on?
All right, big day. A little over a minute to go in the second quarter. Monday Night Football, Arlington, Texas. Dallas Cowboys trail the Houston Texans 17-10, playing for the Governor's Cup there down in Texas. So we'll see what happens. Cowboys are on the move here, but likely will be kicking a field goal, I see. But that's a scoop on that. Other scores in the NBA, quick scores. Sixers down by the Heat here, 97-83. Miami leading there, 3:39 to go in Miami, fourth quarter there. Raptors 118-106 over the Pacers. In the fourth as well. NHL action, Canadians blanking the Oilers 1-0, 14 to go there in the third. Final from earlier tonight, the Blue Jackets bomb the Bruins 5-1. Red Wings are taking on the Sharks at 10:30. Ducks over the Stars 3-0, end of two. And Avalanche over the Flyers 3-2, 3 minutes to go there in the third.
Can I just jump in here, Slick, for 1 second? You can pick up. I'm seeing something on X right now, Newswire US. Trump concedes Gates Senate confirmation may not happen. New York Times.
I wouldn't believe the New York Times. Do they cite a source?
I haven't looked at it yet.
All right.
Interesting. Go ahead, Slick.
Probably an unnamed source.
So UFC Prez Dana White declares traditional media dead. Nobody trusts them. This is Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. UFC President Dana White condemned the traditional media in his comments following UFC 309 Saturday night, branding the mainstream media as dead and untrustworthy. I've had this philosophy for the last 5 years that traditional media is dead and it doesn't hold the influence that it used to hold. White said, according to MMA Fighting, the two most hated people in this world are the media and politicians. Nobody trusts them. Nobody believes them. The true influence right now is with these kids on the internet. They're called influencers. So I've been creating relationships with these people for the last 4 or 5 years, and this election was won on the internet. The way Power Slap was built was the way this election was won. The Hispanic vote was incredibly powerful, the male black vote, and the youth. Trump has regularly attended UFC events for years. However, on Saturday night, he was joined by high-ranking Republicans and several of his cabinet appointments, which I talked about a little bit earlier. But this is what Trump is identified with. And you know what, Big D? That's what was a smart play, dealing with the internet and dealing with these podcast people. That's where people want to get their news now. They're tired of these big corporate, these big MSLSD, CNN, and even to some degree Fox News. They like these smaller networks like Real America's Voice, letting us have a show like this. God knows what, for the last 5 years, right? They're getting real news here. People, they can sniff it out. So good for Dana White getting out there and calling it what it is. Let's see, what else we got here? Well, talking about all these Trump dances, but of course the NFL's got to get involved. How about this one? CBS edits out Raiders Trump dance on all their social media posts. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. On Sunday, NFL players nationwide were seen performing the Trump dance. We showed some earlier to celebrate great plays on the field. Still, the CBS X account, the Twitter account, NFL on CBS, opted to remove a video of the Raiders' celebratory dancing from its social media posts, and fans were not pleased. During the third quarter of the Las Vegas Raiders-Miami Dolphins game on Sunday, Brock Bowers performed his version of the Trump dance upon making a touchdown. After scooting past Dolphin safety Javon Holland, Bowers performed his little celebratory dance to the glee of his teammates. Bowers makes his touchdown in the live video and performs his Trump dance. Then the camera shifts to Raiders owner Mark Davis holding up his fist in celebration for the touchdown. But when fans later saw the same segment on the NFL on CBS's account, the Trump dance was mysteriously absent, according to Outkick. So the video clips on the NFL and CBS account go from Bowers striding into the end zone for a touchdown to the to that score there. But Big D, that's what they're doing. They're already they're censoring at CBS, at least on their X account. I guess maybe they ran out of space, huh, Rick? That's probably what it was. Yeah, I'm sure. So that's a wrap in sports, Big D. But President Trump making an impact in sports this weekend, big time.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the code to use. I see nothing on that, by the way, as I do a quick glance around. Nothing other than that one tweet from that organization that has a ton of feedback on it, but I just don't see.
I heard this story over the weekend, and again, somebody pointed out, I think it was, what do you call it?
A lot of people saying, he pulled a 4D chess move. He really wanted to get rid of Gates. Now he's jobless. Not so sure about that.
Sources with no names, don't believe them anymore because that's usually what they go with, unnamed sources. So unless it's got a name, somebody's going to put their name to it. Chances are it's garbage and it's fake.
Hey, look at this. What do you know?
What?
1 hour ago. What did we open the show by asking? Where's the Pennsylvania governor been?
Oh, you found him?
I guess it took 2 Supreme Court of Pennsylvania's to say, no, and then realizing these people who are trying to do this might be in some trouble down the line. Well, guess who came out of their shell? Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro denounces illegal vote counting to benefit Bob Casey in Senate race. An hour ago.
Wow.
This has been going on for how many days?
It's been going on for well over a week.
In complete defiance of the first order.
Yep.
Now a second order. And now, all of a sudden, the governor shows up. Any institution, our laws can be ignored or do not matter. Any insinuation that our laws can be ignored or do not matter is irresponsible and does damage to faith in our electoral process, the governor said. The rule of law matters in this Commonwealth. And as I have always said, it is critical for counties and officials in both parties to respect it with both their rhetoric and their actions. I expect all county election officials to adhere to this ruling. But where have you been? Am I missing something here? Am I reading this wrong?
Maybe he was on the beach with Joe. They're sunning themselves.
You just like, okay, we're really at a dead end there, Gov. All right, I'll come out now and say something. I mean, how does it not look like that?
It's safe. Now it's safe for me to say.
Right, you've got all the cover you need. There's no place else for us to go, Gov. All right, let me put out a statement.
It won't cost you votes.
I mean, is that crazy? Am I missing something?
Nope.
God, I mean, how obvious can you be? People have been wondering where you've been this whole time. No word from the governor at all as this is going on. People are going, is anyone paying attention to what's going on in Pennsylvania? This is absurd. And then an hour ago, all of a sudden, here comes this statement.
Yep, it's almost like whack-a-mole. He sticks his head out just long enough to make a statement, and he hides again.
Crazy. All right, what else? You got anything else, Doug?
I got one last quick one. This is a bit of good news. Newly appointed border czar Thomas Holman said thousands of retired border agents and military servicemen are volunteering to help with the incoming Trump administration's plan for mass deportation. He says, I shut my phone off on Friday night because I couldn't handle all the phone calls, the texts, and emails from thousands of ICE agents and Border Patrol agents excited about the rumor, I'm coming back, said Holman, the former Immigration and Customs Border Enforcement Acting Director. But more important than that, thousands of retired agents, Border Patrol agents, retired military, they want to come in and volunteer to help this president secure the border and do the deportation operation. Again, that was something that he tweeted out, and it's also covered here in the Western Journal. So good news. I mean, you got a bunch of these guys. You know what? Like you said, there's a different feel in the country. People are excited. They want it to be safe. These guys are willing to volunteer to do it.
All right, as always, we salute our military, active and inactive, police, firefighters, first responders, all emergency personnel. Thanks, Slick. Thanks, Delgado. Most of all, thank you to Live from Studio 6B audience. Thank Aaron and Brianna as well. Great job. Thank you to Live from Studio 6B audience. We will see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. I'll see you tomorrow morning right here, live from Studio 6B.
Oh, the man in the threads makes me pause. Man in the threads makes me pause. What's his name? Mr. Slick Rick. Mr. Slick Rick. Mr. Slick Rick. Mr. Slick